Well, welcome back to 3D Sportscast. I know it's been a while between sickness, jobs, holidays, all that life go on.
Happens.
We've been busy, but we are back for the season, ending of the season, going into playoffs now. So we're going to make a couple of videos. Our first one right here, this video is going to be looking back at our preseason playoff predictions.
We'll see how poorly
yes.
or good we did.
So, I think we kind of looked at this at the midway point of the season. Now that the playoffs are set, we can officially see, like you said, how good or bad we did. So, I guess we can get started. We started with the AFC. The AFC East, we both picked the Bills. Obviously, we're Bills fans. He picked the Jets, which, looking back, obviously, not a great pick. But, again, everyone thought the Jets were going to be better than they were.
Yeah, they really...
It turned into a train wreck pretty quickly.
Mess.
So we both got that pick right. He got wrong. For the AFC North, we all picked the Ravens, so we were right on that.
That was a given.
Yeah. AFC South, we all picked the Texans. We were all right.
Easy.
And then the West, we all picked the Chiefs. So really,
we did pretty good.
Those were fairly.
They
could have gone a couple ways, I guess, but pretty much.
Yeah.
Those.
Actually, I think the North was the most. As good as the Ravens were, I was not going to say the most competitive because you got Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, even Cleveland, who didn't have a good season, were in the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
so, the South is not with the Texans. That was kind of, and then the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Although the West does have two wild card teams, but the Chiefs still won that.
The Chiefs actually probably still didn't play as well as a lot of people had anticipated, but their record
was better, which is weird.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Their record, like you said, the record was better than people thought their record would be.
But they didn't play better than
people
thought they would. Which is weird.
Makes sense.
But it still ended up.
The only, out of all of us, the only pick that was wrong in the whole AFC out of the division winners was him picking the Jets. That was it.
That's
pretty good.
So we got that right. And now this is where it really gets interesting is our wild card picks. I'll start with mine. I picked the Bengals, Dolphins, and Colts, which, while none of them made the playoffs, they actually were the first several teams just out of it. So not terrible picks. No one thought the Bengals were going to start the season as bad as they did. They still almost made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the Dolphins, Tua was in and out with injuries, and they still almost made the playoffs. Yeah. And then the Colts just couldn't figure out the quarterback situation with Richardson and Flacco.
Yeah, they were struggling.
So
put it that way.
There's that. And for Dom, you can talk about your wild card.
So I picked the Browns.
Which, again, they were a playoff team last year.
Yeah. And
didn't know that was going to...
They would have been better off keeping Flacco than getting...
going back to Watson.
Yeah,
and then after he got hurt, it was Winston.
It was all over the place. I mean,
they started several different quarterbacks. So.
Yeah, and then the Bills, who won the division. So
which is weird because
different.
he
So kind of right, but kind of wrong.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, it's kind of maybe spoil our NFC picks, but me and Devin, we either picked the division winners right, or if we picked them wrong, they didn't make the playoffs at all. That was the only team that picked division winners as wild cards, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but the Bills was one of those picks.
And then I did also pick the Browns.
And that was actually a really good pick looking back.
A really good pick. I mean, people thought they were going to be really bad.
And they got that last spot in the wild card, so you got that right. So, and then for you.
So I picked the Dolphins and Jets, thinking that the AFC East was going to be a 3 playoff team division, and that did not pan out at all. But yeah, like you said, Tua with the injuries, and then
the Jets were just the Jets.
With, I don't know what the hype was about with them, but And then my third was the Steelers, which I was right about. Tomlin and the Steelers always having a winning record and making the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Even though they really didn't play great a lot of the season, they still
really
found
did.
a way to win.
It was and the end of the season really.
They always do.
Yeah,
every year. You're right. So it's like the opposite of the Bengals. They literally start the season good enough, get in a good position. They choke at the end of the year, but they're still good enough to make the playoffs. Where the Bengals start the year bad, and they went on a... What did the Bengals win, like, their last 5 games? I think the Steelers are now on a 4-game losing streak going into the playoffs. So,
well, no matter who the Steelers have, though, I mean, you just gotta expect them to be in the playoffs, I guess.
So, as far as... Well, I guess we can break down all the total... how much we got right after we go to the NFC.
Yeah.
So that was our AFC
I think
predictions.
we all were actually
again pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you go AFC,
well, you had one less, Drew, but me and Devin picked the same.
That's because I got all the wild cards
wrong.
You
had all the wild cards wrong.
But you had one division wrong, but you got...
so I had 2 wrong, Devin
card.
had 2 wrong, you had 3, but we made up the difference in the AFC.
So pretty good, actually, considering.
Especially considering we had a couple risky picks. I mean, your division winners were all pretty...
I would say the Broncos,
and the Steelers
probably were
the best picks there. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I guess we can go on to the NFC. And the East, me and Devin again, like the AFC East, the NFC East, we both got right.
I have
got
never
wrong.
been happier to be wrong.
Yes, yes, that's true. And you even said that.
Yeah, I did when we did that.
You said, if I'm wrong, I will be really happy about this.
The greatest thing ever.
And I will say, for my sake, I'm happy because I was the only one that didn't pick the Jets or Cowboys to make the playoffs at all, and that turned out to be right.
You didn't go with the peer pressure.
So
everyone.
We both picked the Eagles, got it right. He picked the Cowboys, but it's like you said, as a Commanders fan.
I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better year.
Yeah. As we'll get into that in a little bit, but as far as the NFC North, we all picked it right. The weird thing about this though is that it came down to the last game against the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings.
Who we did not at this point we did not think.
Well, none of us even picked them to make the playoffs.
So the Lions did win, but barely against the Vikings. So. As far as the NFC South, we both picked the Falcons. Devin's the only one who got it right with the Buccaneers.
If you would have told us before the season started that
Kirk Cousins was going to forget how to play football all of a sudden,
a rookie.
But here's another interesting thing about it. It still did come down to the final Sunday, but to determine who was going to win this division. And the Falcons won both games against Tampa Bay.
They did.
Well, and they started the season really well.
They fell apart.
Yeah, with Cousins and then...
And Tampa Bay's a good team, but they've also been up and down all year. So, but you got it right. So that's a good pick. And
Baker's having a pretty quiet 39 touchdowns.
season. Yes. Well, that's the other thing about Baker is like he's having a great season. It's just there's been so many top tier quarterbacks.
And the most impressive thing about that too with Baker is like a lot of his top receivers have gotten injured throughout the season. It doesn't matter who his receivers are.
Well, it's crazy is Godwin's been out and he's done for the season.
Well, he's finally living up to his potential when they drafted him.
Well, and that's what's even impressive. There's Evans, despite missing a couple weeks, still got the 1,000-yard mark.
Which is nuts.
And he's done that for 11 straight years, which is insane. Yeah. So, and the NFC West, we all got wrong because we did not know the 49ers were. Yeah. Who would have predicted the 49ers?
They all died.
Well, McCaffrey didn't barely.
Well, and he was their MVP. I mean,
yeah. And then Ayuk got hurt early on. And then all the other guys are right out with injuries too. So
it's pretty. The only guy who I think didn't get injured was Purdy.
And he did at the end because he didn't even finish the last couple games.
Yeah, his elbow or something.
Yeah. So no one could have predicted that. I think we were pretty. It was pretty fair that we all picked the 49ers, not knowing that. So I mean, the 49ers were in the Super Bowl last year, and they didn't even make the playoffs this year.
And I think if you ask people when healthy, people would still
say yes.
Roster.
I agree.
Well, they were in a lot of close games too. Yes, they just unfortunately lost. So.
And they played a pretty decent division too. Yeah. So it was pretty tight.
It was pretty tight division
throughout most of the year. Yeah. So with that,
I'll let you do your.
I was just gonna say I got half of the division. I got the East and North right, but I got the South and West wrong. You actually only got the North right. And Devin only got the West wrong. So total, Devin picked 7 out of the 8 divisions right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's very good. Oh, well, I guess I could. Devin had it written down. I got 6 out of 8 division winners right total. You got 4 out of 8, and then Devin got 7 out of 8 total.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's pretty good. When the only one you got wrong is the Niners.
Yes.
Who was like one of the most solid.
Yes. That's really good.
Yeah.
But now I can go to my wild cards as I picked the Packers, who are a wild card, the Rams, who are a wild card, and the Seahawks, who aren't. But even that wasn't.
No,
they were close.
That's the thing with That's the thing with all your wrong wild card picks. They weren't. They're really close.
Yeah, like all the ones that I picked that were wrong were like the ones that just didn't get in.
Missed.
So not bad picks. But again, I got the Packers and Rams in there. So
yeah, because there was I think the Seahawks didn't get eliminated until last week.
I just realized something.
17 to 16.
We were wrong, Devin. I just said Dom was the only one that picked a division winner that or in the wild card.
Oh,
the Rams won the division. I just realized that.
They did. I didn't think about
The
that.
Rams won the West.
Right.
We got that wrong.
That.
Well, we'll have to fix that. I just realized the Rams did win the division.
I just thought that too right before you said it.
Yep. So the Rams won the division.
Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway. So my wild cards, I had the Packers, Eagles, and the Cardinals. Now the Packers, we all picked. I mean,
and the
Packers
Eagles,
we knew were a good team, and we all
again,
expected them. And the Eagles wound up winning the division.
Yeah. Cardinals wasn't a bad pick either. They were in that West that we were talking about.
I'm glad my Commanders made one of those instead.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes me happy, but
he did as a Commander
I thought
fan.
we were going to win like
no
2 or
one
3 games. Turns out we win 12.
So hey, good for you.
Dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, the Cardinals weren't a bad pick, and I think if Kyler wouldn't have gotten that concussion, because he was it 2 games he missed?
I didn't follow the Cardinals that.
Or no, he didn't get a concussion.
I don't know if
that
he
was
did.
Tua. Tua got the concussion.
Because I know Kyler had dealt with injuries in the past, but I don't know if he really did this year.
I don't know. I was thinking there was something. Where
James Conner, the running back.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah,
because they had a couple people down with injury because they were struggling there for a little bit. But they were still a good team, and they were in the race up until I think probably the last couple weeks, or towards the end.
Again, like I said, the NFC West was a pretty close race right there. The Rams ended up winning it, but not a bad pick still. No. So now your wild card.
Yeah, I picked the Packers like both of you. Pretty predictable there. Yeah. Cowboys
again. They didn't quite have the season that
kind of.
Well, people got hurt, and then I think Dak just gave up and was like, just bench me.
Which Dak got hurt too, but I don't know.
The thing with Dallas is that they're like just so inconsistent.
You never know what you're going to get.
1 year they'll win 14 games.
And the other problem with Dallas is
then...
despite the talent that they can get, there's always a lot of drama surrounding the Cowboys. And there's always a spotlight on the Cowboys, and if they're not doing good, there's a lot of criticism.
They put the window, a big spotlight right in
so, well, literally a spotlight. CeeDee Lamb can't see the ball coming on because, anyway.
And then
that was a good one.
And then I picked the Falcons,
which not a bad. We both pick as division winners, and they just missed. So
and they missed out. That's not a bad last week.
So now, I guess we could kind of call them statistics if you want on our predictions. Total.
We were all fairly close.
We got 8 of 14 right, and Devin won with 9 of 14.
Now this is just teams that made the playoffs, not like right position.
And so division winners, we already went over that. And then I got 6 of 8. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. You got 4 of 8, and Devin got 7 of 8, which is again insane. And then for the wild card, I got 1. I actually 1 of 6 with. That's right. We have to change it. 1 of 6, 1 being a division winner. So it's kind of half right. Because they made the playoffs, but they weren't a wild card team. If that makes sense. Yeah. Because you technically got 4 of 6, but 2 of 6 were division winners. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah. So actual seeding correctly. I was 2 of 6.
And then Devin was 2 of 6 as well. So pretty.
I mean, I would say
we actually did pretty good. I would say
pretty similar in the.
I would say that the best picks was Devin with the division. Going 7 of 8 is crazy. I would say your pick for the Broncos and your pick for the Steelers were pretty good. And then the fact that I guess not so much what I picked, but what I didn't pick. The fact I didn't pick the Jets and Cowboys was good.
Yeah,
we kind of fell peer pressure. I'm glad the Cowboys were not making the playoffs.
We all are.
Everyone is.
And the Jets. So
everyone except for Cowboys fans.
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
No, not at all. And so again, not a just kind of recapping our preseason playoff predictions. Not bad at all. If you want to go back and watch that, it's up on our channel. But that's that. We got some right, some wrong. The NFL's always unpredictable in ways,
there's
like the 49ers. Like you didn't know that was going to happen.
The Commanders winning 12 games, or the Eagle or the Cowboys falling apart.
Even the Jets playing so bad.
Like they're going to get a top 10.
And there's always injuries too.
Yeah,
so
a lot of that's just dependent on who they have.
So not bad. In our next video that we're getting ready to record, we're going to take the current playoff bracket and make our playoff predictions. We'll, I guess, see you guys in that one.